Hey, Westchester University alumni, and happy homecoming to you. I hope that you've been enjoying all of the virtual homecoming events from this past week. Now, we are going to be wrapping up homecoming with a bang. I'm really excited because Sue Weldon, the founder and CEO of Unite for Her, is joining us here on Ramblings Live. I hope that you've been enjoying these Rambling Lives videos that we've been doing throughout the month of October. Ramblings Live, as you know, is the way that we connect with our alumni. We get to connect with you, and we get to connect with somebody that we bring in, whether they're faculty or staff or a past alumni member here on our digital platform. We love for you to engage with us. Now, tonight's episode is not actually live. This is a pre-taped version for scheduling issues. We had to do that, but we still want you to engage with us here. Comment, say hello, let us know what year you're graduated and what where you live now, where it is that your path led you to. And if you do, we are going to give away yet again another Westchester University cooler. So go ahead, comment, say hello, and we're going to pick a random winner within the next 24 hours to win that. Now, as I mentioned, our guest today is Sue Weldon, who graduated in 1986 from Westchester University, and she is now the founder and CEO of Unite for Her. I am incredibly excited to get to chat with her today, but I'm also incredibly proud of the work that she's done. She's part of the Golden Ram family. So without any further ado, let's please welcome Sue Weldon to Ramblings Live. Sue, thanks so much for being here. Great to see you.
Oh, good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here. I did a little bit of research on Unite for Her because I wanted to see what this was all about. And as I was doing my research, I found myself an hour later that I was still researching and watching the videos and looking through everything on the website. And you've created such an incredible organization. And I can't wait to dive into it and to share this with everybody and hear your stories as to how it came about and what it is that you do and really dive into it. But before we dip into that, we're going to get some business out of the way because you're a graduate of Westchester University, 1986.
My God.
So we want to know what brought you to WCU? What was the attraction to Westchester University?
Gymnastics actually brought me to WCU.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
I had a dear friend who was on the gymnastics team, and she told me about the college. And at the time, I wanted to be a teacher, although I went into communications. But I totally wanted to do gymnastics in college. So, then I'll tell you, one school I applied to, got in, didn't visit.
That was it?
First day, right? Like,
where are you from?
I am from Northeast Philadelphia, so not too far out. Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, not too far away.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what led you there.
Definitely feel like it was a whole new area to explore. Definitely did not feel like Northeast Philly. Yeah. A lot of grass, cows. We didn't have any of that in Philly.
It's funny you say that because I'm originally from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and in a town just a little bit north of Scranton, and it's called Clark Summit. And when I went to Westchester, I was like, I'm in the city. This is the city now. And I guess it's perspective as to where you come from.
Totally. I always joke like that was my study abroad. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that was my study abroad. Going to Westchester from Philly.
That's so funny.
A little bit in Australia. It felt like I was so far away.
Well, hey, you know what? It's different for everybody when they go there, but I think everybody leaves Westchester University extremely happy with the education that they got, the friends that they met, the stuff that they were involved in. What were you involved in at Westchester?
Totally. Yeah, it formed me. They were such formative years for me. And young coming to Westchester, I was 18 at the time. So, you're just a little bit younger than my kids are when they go to college. And gymnastics was so key, being on a competitive team and really just diving into that whole community. It does form your study habits. It forms, being committed to a deadline and all of the above. So, it was a lot of fun. I can't say enough about my experience at Westchester. It really did, give me this whole new perspective, independence, and trying to find out who I was, right? I did a lot of learning on who I was, not what my parents, brought me up. It was all of a sudden I'm making choices. So I think that's always key for a college career.
Yeah, it's amazing how you just kind of get pushed out of the nest and into the real world for many people when you go to college. And to land at Westchester University, what better place? The town right up the road and all the stuff that is all around Westchester is great.
Yeah.
I'm actually familiar with your organization from my time at Westchester University.
Oh,
So let's
nice.
talk about Unite from Her. Yeah, I had
It's a
realized as I know
things
that name.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I knew of it. I was a friar at Westchester University, and the friars and the abbeys, two service organizations, were really heavily involved,
Nice.
and there was definitely some crossover with
Mhm.
that in different events. Can you explain to us what Unite for Her is?
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit that serves women and men affected by breast and ovarian cancer for life through integrative therapies. So we end up bridging that gap between the medical and the wellness community, giving access, funding, and delivering about $2,000 worth of treatments to every newly diagnosed in our area, Philadelphia and surrounding area, New Jersey. We've actually had a huge expansion because of COVID, so I can talk a little bit about that. But they get access to like acupuncture and yoga and fresh organic vegetables and a nutritionist and chef, oncology massage, fitness
Wow.
memberships, sexual health counseling, regular counseling, things that usually aren't covered by insurance. Unite for Her bridges that gap and covers it for our women. And what we do there is, we just give them this whole new lifestyle shift to get balance, to mitigate the side effects and symptoms without any more drugs and prescriptions. What started, in 2009, 2010, actually was a gymnastics event as our major fundraiser. But in 2010 was our first wellness retreat conference, Wellness Day, we call them. And we had 23 women that we treated and gave those services to. It's an expensive model. And now fast forward, we treat about 1,800 newly diagnosed or living with metastatic disease or ovarian cancer a year. So you can see the growth.
Wow.
And the students are key. Students are awesome for us, raising funds and advocacy and really being philanthropic, on campus. It helps us tremendously with those initiatives.
Well, that's unbelievable that in that amount of time you went from 23 women that you were helping out to 1,800 men and women a year that your organization helps out and helps out in what it's a pretty unique way with the acupuncture and the I saw about and there's a video with somebody who's delivered fresh vegetables. Can you explain a little bit as to how this came about and why something like that is so important?
Yeah, so it was my own experience. I was a young woman diagnosed. I was 39 years old, 3 little kids. I actually did not go far when I left Westchester. I do live here in Westchester. Loved it so much.
Oh, you're in Westchester, yeah.
I am, yeah. And so's our organization, is our home base. But yeah, I was diagnosed as a young woman, and when I was diagnosed, I swore they had the wrong girl and wanted them to check that tumor over and over again. But they had the right girl. I definitely was unbalanced. Yeah. But I had a mastectomy, 6 months of chemotherapy. I got incredibly sick from the treatment itself. As you can imagine, it does wreak havoc on the immune system. And I found myself diving into ways to heal without additional drugs and prescriptions. But I was really fortunate. I had the means to pay for them. I did about 36 treatments of acupuncture when I was sick. It helped me with hot flashes. When you're a young woman, chemotherapy pushes you into menopause immediately. And I wanted to have more children. So I was just not looking forward to that. I already lost my breasts, so lost so much of my sexuality. And acupuncture brought all that back for me. And that was just remarkable that this science and research-based therapy was not a part of the standard of care. So what I did was just basically dive into what could help me heal during this time and empower me and give me my confidence back. I lost all confidence when I was diagnosed, giving me control back. Again, for somebody who really was in control of every aspect of her life and then not to have any because I'm blindsided with this diagnosis, really key for me. So these were like it was a wellness plan that I was making during this whole year of healing. Dove into yoga, dove into nutrition, yoga, that philosophy. Actually, Allison Donnelly was a dear friend on the team with me. She came over to my house and she's a phenomenal instructor for yoga, teacher, educator, and really helped me understand the power of the mind with yoga, right? And that philosophy and breathing, getting the negative chatter out of my head and being able to sleep and getting energy and dove into nutrition and really Unite for Her stemmed from that whole plan I did that year. I spent about $6,000 out of pocket. I did not have to go back to work, so I was really fortunate. I didn't have to do that and take that time off. And I didn't realize I was forming the business plan for Unite for Her all that time. I was just forming a plan for me personally, but it clearly became this plan that I knew not everybody had access to. And that became very real. It was like 1 year after my diagnosis, I was feeling better. I actually coached gymnastics for like 27 years. And I took my athletes with me to an event. It was a yoga event down at the art museum. And I remember seeing this woman, across the way, and she was younger than I was. And her hair was out. My hair was coming back in. I remember the yellowish tone in the skin and the glassy eyes, like I was looking in a mirror. I knew that face. Yeah. And I wanted to go over and just embrace her and tell her all the tools that I was able to get access to that helped me. And here I am, all charged up to give her all of this newfound information. And she was eager to learn, but she said, what did you do? You look so good. And I shared with her all of this, and she started crying. And she said, yeah, good for you. I could never afford all that. And that's when I went home and I was like, all right, honey, we're going to start a nonprofit. I'm not quite sure what it looks like. We're all going to work for free for a lot of years. We're going to really empower people who are much smarter than I am, form a board, get an event going, and we got to raise a whole heck of a lot of money. And that's how Unite for Her was really born, just a community. Westchester has an unbelievable community of talent, and just people who care to give back. And when they see something that works, they jump on, to give that skill set. So feeling really fortunate. Yeah.
That's, beyond inspirational to hear something like that you were able to help somebody out and immediately. It sounds like you weren't fully recovered at that point. You still were going through a lot, and you immediately noticed that there's a need for other men and other women out there that were going through something similar, and just incredible that you were able to start it like that. And it's helped so many people. How many people have you helped at this point? Do you know roughly how many people there is altogether?
Yeah, we do. We have to be getting close to 7,000. Wow. That's in the area. We had an initiative called Her Care Box, which, we launched this about 2 years ago, and Her Care Box is basically our mission in a box. And we would hear from other people all across the nation, mostly our women. It was their relatives or their friends had heard about our program and wanted us to find a program like that in other states. And there just isn't anything like it. So we developed the Her Care Box, to put the resources like the Cancer Fighting Kitchen Cookbook and the Acure organic products for, body and skin and beauty, just to get the toxins out of your bath and beauty products. We put in calendula salve, healing tea, mastectomy robe, just this lovely gift of care that you can buy in 3 different sizes. Yeah. So that expanded our reach. Right. But, expanded our reach, not with the wellness passport of integrative services, but more, just getting them on our website to learn more and get educated. Yeah.
So if there's somebody that's probably watching us right now that is from the Westchester University community that maybe does live now in Connecticut, maybe lives in Texas, that's a way in which they could take advantage, I'm sure. But what about somebody that may be watching that just got the news, somebody that doesn't know where to go to? They're not sure who to call or what to do. And maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's a close friend to somebody that's watching us now. What advice would you give to that person, whether it's that person's someone that they're close with or that individual themselves? What do you tell them?
Yeah, and find resources, right? Like go to uniteforher.org, go to info at uniteforher.org is our email address. And then we will have, Gail Kelly is actually our wellness program manager. She will put it out to the right place. But getting those resources, we have so much to share. And now at Unite for Her, we can treat anyone across the nation. It's in different levels. It might not be as comprehensive in the Philadelphia area, New Jersey, but at least we can get them on the right track, right? And we can get them access to different types of therapies. And education's power, right? Knowledge is power. There was, for years, the Unite for Her line was my cell phone, and I would pick it up and just talk to women. And we are honored to do that. We feel blessed to be in this, in this place that we are, that it's an intimate, very private place, right? And but we have a lot of resources at our fingertips. We partner with over 30 cancer centers and hospital entities. So, not only us having resources, but the more you share, I get it. Some people don't want to share. I was like one of those women, like I could handle it. I got it. And
Yeah.
the more you share, the more you get access and learn more, then you can make really good, decisive decisions, So info at uniteforher.org is an email, and our email address, of course, Unite for Her. But we can help anyone in the area now, nationwide, with different variety
That's great.
levels of our programming, integrative care.
That's amazing, and I know that your website has a plethora of information. I mean, lots of information that's out there that's available that you can go to. So uniteforher.org is where you can head to in order to find all of that. How about somebody that's sitting and watching and saying they're not affected in any way whatsoever? I mean, this is information that they've heard of breast cancer. They know of people that have had it, but them sitting there right there in that moment aren't actually affected, but they want to do something. They want to help out in some way. What are ways that people can help your organization?
Yeah, it's a variety of ways. First, just being an ambassador for us, the fact that you're listening to this and that you know of our organization, it gives integrative care, it gives complementary therapies to those newly diagnosed. You can share that. That ends up getting that word out. Sharing with the companies that you work for. Obviously we are donation led. So whether it's your own donation privately or it is a company, that is usually where we get the most funding. It's our women that we treat. They share with their companies, and those companies always have a philanthropic give or like a community giving. And it is substantial, and they're always looking for nonprofits that they can wrap their arms around. They can feel the work that we do. They can see it visually. We are not about research. Research is so important. That is not what Unite for Her does. We are all about treating that individual at that time to get fully restored. And if our women are living with metastatic disease, and men living with metastatic breast cancer or recurrent ovarian, we never leave their side. So every 6 months, that wellness passport renews, and they can get access to that acupuncture or counseling or fresh organic vegetables or meal delivery. We just started a relationship with Sunbasket that really came front and center during COVID, because food sustainability has become such a big issue for a lot of people in need. So we've sort of revamped that passport to not only make it virtual and digital, that you can get it accessed like you and I talking here today, with a one-on-one counseling session or yoga, and we mail everything right to their home. So we've really done a lot of shifting and pivoting during it.
Well, my next question, and my next question for you, and that's great information for people to get involved. Again, uniteforher.org is the website that you can go to for that. Obviously, there's a pandemic that happened in March, and we're still dealing with that. How has that affected you? I mean, I would imagine that's got to be a massive hit to you in some way. Events that you normally would have in person can't happen anymore. And I know that you've adapted. And we're going to play a video at the end that's going to show that, and it really shows how well and how quickly you've adapted. But what are some things that you've been able to do to help continue to help people throughout this?
Yeah, it's such a valuable piece of information to share, because our women, they still get diagnosed, right? Like so put a diagnosis where you're already feeling isolated. That is how every cancer patient feels in general. Then put COVID on top of it. So we had no choice but to figure it out, step up, pivot, shift, understand how we can really understand this new model, this virtual model, and engage the community to be with us along the way. In the spring, when this occurred, in March, I remember sending my whole staff home and working home orders. We had 900 women that we were due to treat, with 30 conferences, all in person. Everything we did was in person. We do really big, large events really well in person, and we couldn't do any of them. We couldn't do any of them, from our fundraising to our wellness conferences. Everything was just shut down. So we had to reinvent, reimagine, change, deliver everything right to the home. That care box that I talked to you about, that we really launched 2 years ago, that became the vehicle of launching our wellness program at home. So it was Unite for Her at home. We just took all of the resources from the wellness conference, put it in a box, mailed it directly to the home with the passport of services, then gave them one-on-one instruction online, a whole new digital platform that our social media and digital manager created in order to get our women to get access to these types of treatments, one-on-one consultations, or delivered right to the home. So now their vegetables, instead of a pickup place, was delivered to their home. Now they're cooking seminars, like we do cooking and chef series with them. And they end up just doing like we are today, but in their kitchen. And then they do a whole grocery list with our chef and dietitian. That's Erin. Nice pulling that up. So that's what it looks like now. Like everything looks a little different, but it's working. And then she puts a whole grocery list together. We send them a gift card for $75 to buy the food that we put together for them, mitigate their side effects and symptoms or taste buds if they have metallic taste. Just so much that we just shifted and it's working. You know, we had to reinvent everything. And a creative, very hardworking, driven staff that, you know, we wake up every day knowing that we're here to serve our women. We're going to figure it out and build a community, a really strong foundation of support that when they see us so decisive and that we're steady and that we're continuing to serve, then they jump on with us, which has been, you know, hands down such a blessing and an opportunity that came during a really challenging time.
Yeah, what you have done and your entire team has done is just completely admirable. I mean, it's amazing how quickly you were able to adapt to this. And you know, what you said earlier, too, about how you didn't have a choice. You had to do it. You had to overnight. You had to make it happen. And you all did. And you've done an incredible job at that. We're going to talk about Bloom in just a second and play a video that really showcases just how well they have adapted to everything. But I do want to tie a little bit back into Westchester University because you mentioned earlier about the students and the organizations and students that are watching it. How about students that are watching us right now, or maybe alumni whose cousin goes to Westchester currently, or who has a niece or a nephew or a son or a daughter or whatever it might be at Westchester University? How can students get involved with your organization?
Yeah, the students inspire me. When we were in person, I used to go over and do a lot of little lunch and learns, or I would talk at the yoga classes or, you know, the health sciences building, just to share that integrative health story. And they inspire me. And now I'm following their careers, you know, going out to be acupuncturists or internal medicine, you know, studying internal medicine. It does look so much different on campus. You know, when I actually live right by the campus. So I feel I love walking down those streets. There's so much good energy there. It's grown so much, but they're so active in their community. And just being able to, you know, put that pink shirt on, like we have Westchester Unites for Her, and you're buying a t-shirt on our website or on our apparel store, that helps, you know, every bit helps. And then again, being that ambassador, knowing that we exist, coming out and volunteering, packing some care boxes when we can't really have a lot of volunteers, you know, all in one place. We're now doing one-offs, you know, that takes time, you know, and it takes energy. So, but the students are great. The gymnastics team, you know, to this day, I'm very involved with them, and those alumni, they're amazing, as well as the students that are there now, just really advocating for the women of Unite for Her. So it's a nice relationship, you know, it feels like family. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, you talk about packing care boxes. That's something that people can volunteer for and they can do. Is uniteforher.org a spot to go to sign up for that or reach out?
Yeah, just go to info@uniteforher.org, you know, send an email, and then we'll put you in touch with Carol, who's our volunteer coordinator. And that's like, it's so rewarding because you know that box is going to go to somebody who's newly diagnosed. Yeah. I think we're frozen a little bit. Maybe.
Hear me, Stu? Can you hear me?
Now I can. I got you.
Okay, there we go. We got it back. So the things that we're obviously dealing with still is internet connection and trying to get it all work. But it's something that we're all dealing with at home right now. Stu, I want to thank you so much for jumping on and helping to educate everyone on this and talk about the work that you're doing, which is absolutely amazing. I know that I think that I can speak on behalf of all of Westchester University to say that it's people like you and alumni like you, the work you do, that makes us all so proud to be part of the Golden Ram family and to hear what you've done and the help that you're giving to other people. And over 7,000 women and men have benefited and been helped through the organization that you created is just absolutely astounding. And I hope that can go up and up and up, that more and more people can be helped as word spreads and as people can come and volunteer. So thank you so much. I do want to set up and talk about Bloom, because Bloom, we're going to end on a video that was created that really showcases just how well you and your entire team have adapted to the times. Can you tell us a little bit about what Bloom is?
Yeah, so Bloom is our fashion show. Our women are actually our models, the women that we treat. Usually we have 10 models. We walk the runway, beautiful Marion, actually Country Club is where we hold it. Normally we have about 400 people that come out.
Okay.
Cameron is our special events manager and she organizes this event. And we shifted it to a Zoom virtual, Bloom fashion show where they ran the runway right in their home. But, you got to hear from our women and what it means to them. And that was in April. Talk about a quick shift. We ended up having over 340, I believe, join and over 30,000 viewers because it went through Facebook. So that was a game changer.
Amazing.
That allowed us to realize, we could go national, because of the way the platforms are now virtual and digital. So Bloom is our women really front and center, why we do the work we do, and you get to hear right from them. So thank you for wanting to share that.
Yeah, let's play the video now, and we're going to sign off right now. So you can take a look at this video. That's how we're going to end for today. I want to thank Sue Weldon, a class of '86, for joining us here on Ramblings Live. We've got plenty more Ramblings Lives coming up for you for the rest of the year. But let's take a little recap here of the Bloom fashion show from this past year.
Thank you.
Welcome to Bloom. We're gonna let you in so we can see all your beautiful faces.
I'm feeling the energy of Bloom. I am.
Feels so good.
Welcome to our Bloom at Home. This is the first time that we're doing this virtually, of course, and our 8th year of celebrating Bloom. And oh my gosh, we just want to thank you all for joining us. I feel like our arms are just wrapped around all of you and our hearts are full.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer in January 2019. I actually had a friend who was diagnosed within a few months of me, and she was the one that said, you need to go to a Unite for Her workshop. She said it's life-changing.
When I was first diagnosed, I got into a bit of a slump where I felt like I was just a patient, and everything is just focused on what can you do to get rid of the cancer. Unite for Her was there to help you heal your soul.
When you're diagnosed with cancer, you are given a multitude of doctors, more than you ever actually want to talk to, that are there to treat you with medicine. But what Unite for Her did for me was really change my mindset and help me understand how I could help heal myself.
Lindsay is rocking another outfit from Tish Boutique. And it is so fun, right? To get out of some leggings. So Lindsay's in a white fitted maxi skirt with an attached belt from Pete. I love it. Brianna pulled something from her own closet. And to me, it just screams Bloom. It's so cute. It's a navy dress with beaded and flowers. Fabulous top that gives the perfect amount of glamour, but does not require dressing up.
We start at $2,000, which funds a woman for a full year, and that's all the complementary integrative therapies that we gift to them. And then, of course, we'll go down and go to the $1,000 level, $500. Then $250 and $100.
Our nutrition team, Erin and Michelle, they are able with $250 to bring nutrition into their houses. They virtual food shop with them. They're doing phone consultations with them, cooking with them virtually. How awesome. And we're delivering fresh organic vegetables right to their home. So that is the $250 level. Seeing to our thermometer just keeps going up and up and up. So wow, I think that we got everyone there. It's so good.
has worked so hard to get the providers to go virtual and then offer those types of therapies. So we could do a one-on-one counseling session, just like we're doing now on Zoom or through Skype or FaceTime. We can do distant Reiki. So we're shifting a lot so that way we can serve these women in the comfort of their home, but they get that one-on-one professional type of treatment.
See all these beautiful faces. Thank you. We'd love to raise our glass for this toast. And Sue, take it away.
Oh, well, we know there's nothing this Unite for Her community cannot do. They can move mountains. It's getting me emotional. So seeing all of you, thank you for shifting. We are needed. And thanks for sharing so much goodness.
Cheers, everyone. Chandan.
It's a lovely day. It's a lovely day. Thank you all.